Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Open Heart Productions podcast with Drew and my buddy Mitch here, the director. This is episode number 8, and we're here with Kevin Dodd, Mr. Jonas Myers, Mr. Mike Myers.
Not the Mike Myers, but a Mike Myers.
From the reality series Rednecks for Hire. And I guess what we're going to do is kind of get to know the guys a little bit, see what their experience was working with old Mitch here. And they were also in the Bogman movie, our first movie in the BCU series. So that's kind of exciting, guys. So let's find out how y'all got killed by the Bogman.
No more screaming. I'm not going to scream no more.
So, guys, I first of all, I want to say that this is the first time that the three of us have been together in the same room since the show ended, right?
Yep.
Like, so 2019. So it's been almost, 7 years?
7 years.
7 years. So let's dive into the Redneck for Hire show because I was not there at the very beginning. I got brought in later. So y'all tell us about how the start of Rednecks for Hire got off the ground. Make sure you point the mic at your face.
Well, that would be because I was brought in late too.
You were there at the beginning.
Yeah, you.
Mike was there from the beginning.
Yeah, from the beginning there. Me and David we worked on rent houses. Well, he worked for another guy, and I worked for a whole other guy. Well, we got to talking about throwing a show together.
Because David had done the Trailer Kings
Yeah, he
pilot,
done the Trailer Kings.
which I had worked on.
Yeah, he talked to me about it, and then we got to talking about, well, we didn't have a name for it at first. We were talking about, he knew our kids caught critters out of people's houses and done a lot of stuff for people, getting animals and stuff already. So we thought about putting a show together, and I got a hold of my friend of mine, before I got Kevin. Well, then he passed away. So I told him, I said, I got another friend that I can get. So that's when I went and got Kevin, and then we kind of started talking about it and got Jones and just went from there.
So, Kevin, grab the mic and tell us your feelings whenever Mike first hit you up to do the show.
I thought it'd be a pretty cool thing to do, especially at church oriented. Just a group of guys from the same church. I wasn't looking at it no other way. And plus, they needed a bunch of guns and an Argo to do swap for the very first time.
You were the gun and equipment guy the whole show. So, Jonas, tell us how you figured in on this.
I really didn't have a choice. My dad brought me in on it, doing the things that we've always done, catching critters, blowing up beaver dams, and now we had the actual material to use, and then we just had a camera involved.
And you were a little bitty old.
I was young. A lot has really changed since then.
Yeah.
I've gotten better looking, as you can see.
You were 5 foot something.
I was 5 foot something then, and now I'm 6 foot plus.
Taller than your daddy now.
Yeah. But it was fun. I didn't get to really do much because, again, I was a lot younger then. But like I said, we just got to do the same things we always did, just now on camera and with more equipment, and got to go on bigger adventures.
Yeah. Real quick, make sure you point the mic at you. All right. So I was not there because I remember how I got involved. I was on tour with Green Jello, the band from the 90s that had the Three Little Pigs song. And David hit me up because I'd worked on the Trailer Kings episode with him. And he was like, hey, Mitch, we've got this show. And we've got about 6 episodes shot and in the can. Can you edit them together, for me? I'm like, hell yeah, sure. And he was like, we'll pay you X amount of dollars because we're trying to get this on, the CW and the local, KNOE affiliates. And all right, cool. And so whenever I come back home from that tour, David just shows up at my house with about 6 SD cards and just hands them to me. Like, no script, no paperwork. And it's like, here you go. It's about 6 episodes. Good luck. And so I went in there and started working on it. And this was, y'all's first shoots. I think there was some critter thing that y'all done. There was a tree blowing up that y'all did. There was some jar flies that y'all were doing.
We had to get the... what was it, a bulldozer that was stuck? What was stuck that I brought that Argo when it got
it was a camper.
Camper.
It was a camper, yeah. So all that stuff was on there, but as I started going through all of the SD cards, my heart dropped and I started getting sick to my stomach because David or whoever the camera person was had left it on autofocus, so nothing was in focus. Nothing that y'all had done during that except for the fireflies.
Yeah.
And a couple, we used some of the tree explosions that were out of focus because like it's still so good. We got to use something, you know. But I remember telling David, I'm like, David, who was camera guy? He goes, oh, just my buddy Jeffro or whoever he had. I'm like, bro, dude, you need to let me get my guys out there and let them follow with Sharky and Chris Tomberlin and Stephen Norrid and. Once he said okay to that, then I went from just being just the editor to now I'm the producer of the show. And real quick, just between all y'all, what did any of y'all know about doing a show before this?
Nada.
Didn't know nothing about it.
Well, neither did David.
No.
I mean, honestly, nobody had real experience in this. Like I said, we just took the thing that we do every other day or every other weekend and just decided to put it on camera.
And that's great.
And me and David went to some store and bought a camera. I didn't know nothing about no camera or what the camera was besides take pictures, you know, but we went to this.
And that camera was not in focus one time.
No.
And you may or may not have overpaid by a good chunk of change for this said camera.
But real quick, all right, so once, like, cause after, this is actually the birth of Open Heart Productions, Rednecks for Hire, because once David said that he needed all this stuff, I'm like, and I'm going to be your producer, I realized that I had to open up an LLC. So that was the official birth of Open Heart Productions for the first season of Rednecks for Hire. So, I mean, regardless of anything else that happened, like, you know, that was the genesis of everything that we're doing now was thanks to y'all. So I want to say thank y'all. Even though I know, Kevin, whenever I asked you to do this, you had said, why would you want to talk about the worst thing you had ever done in your life? But the thing is, this is the honest to God truth. This is all the movies that we have done in the BCU. I would not be able to do those movies the way I've done them had I not learned all those chaos manipulation tactics from Rednecks for Hire.
Everything's a learning process.
Nothing like y'all. So there was no scripts. There was no production meetings. There was no prep or planning. It was just show up. We got a job, and we're going to film it. And that was part of the reason why I was drawn to it, because it was actual, real reality. And a reality show landscape where everything was scripted. Y'all were actually genuine. And that's what drew me to it. But also on the other side of it, I realized that there's a whole lot of things you sacrifice whenever you're doing it just pure, genuine reality, and that is prep and understanding of what's going on. There were the times that Sharky and everybody would show up and be asking David, all right, so where's the outlets, where's this, and this? And David was just like, figured y'all would figure that out once y'all got here. Like, God! But, my big question that I wanted to get y'all to talk about, especially that first season that we did, because that first season really was a whole lot of fun. Like, I think out of all of the seasons, that first season was just, it was so much fun. Talk to me what it was like working with the crew, Sharky and Chris and Steven, as y'all went up there and did y'all's episodes.
I mean,
Y'all take this.
Here.
Get at the mic.
I didn't think nothing about it. I mean, I just, they were watching us and we're doing our thing. So.
Yeah, I mean, we had a great time with the guys. Yeah. I told Kevin, I said, boy, they so dressed different than what we do. I mean, they had these funny little hats on, you know.
They just wasn't prepared for the stuff that we were going to go through.
Yeah, we come out. We come out to the swamp. We have all our boots on, and they had tennis shoes on.
Yeah, I let them borrow some of our boots and stuff. I will say this: I do respect them for following us out there with no idea what we were doing at all.
A lot of them won't come back no more.
Yeah, a lot of them haven't been back or haven't came back to any of the shoots.
We were talking about this earlier. There were a couple of camera guys that we brought in on season 2. Whenever y'all went out there to Revolution Park and the beaver dams, and the water was up, that that shoot that they did with us was the last shoot that they have ever done with me. They have, like, whenever I ask them to do Bogman and Sea of Madness and everything else, every time they're like, oh, no, man, I got something going on. Oh, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I respect them for coming out there and getting in situations where they were uncomfortable because they clearly didn't really fit in the woods and in the mud and in the gunk that we were at, and just kind of following us. So I will say there's props to them for doing that, being in a situation they didn't know anything about.
Real quick, what were y'all's favorite episodes to film? If y'all can remember that.
Flips up in.
With the babies.
The bees was pretty good.
Kevin wasn't there for that one.
You were
I
not.
wasn't there for that one. I was scuba diving.
Yeah, now you had
And y'all put
dropped up on a boat somewhere.
Yeah, they didn't end up making it to the episode, but I think, what was that, David fell through the porch?
That was the same episode, yeah. They got that critter from the attic with Spencer.
Yeah, big old possum.
Tell us about that.
But I felt kind of bad for David because we was doing the bees, and I had a bee suit on. Sharky had one on, and it was somebody else. It might have been somebody.
I was in the house.
No, y'all. There was only 2 bee suits. There was only 2.
Yeah, there's only 2 bee suits.
Well,
I was in the house chilling.
I can't remember what kind of tool or something I had, and I said, David, come get this tool. And he come over there. I guess he wasn't thinking he didn't have the bee suit on. And as soon as I handed him that whatever I handed him, they covered him. And the people that lived there, all of a sudden they seen this man come by with no shirt, rolling on the ground.
I was standing in the house. It was me, Marshall Guyton, and his lovely wife, and I think 2 or 3 other people. And all we see is David run past the open window, no pants, only his shoes and boxers on, no shirt, and his hat just in his hands, just doing this. It was about the funniest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen Mr. Marshall on the ground laughing so hard in my life. It was phenomenal. I felt bad for him, but phenomenal.
One of my favorite episodes of the show was the haunted house, where we told y'all that there was a coon or a possum inside the haunted house, and we needed y'all to go and find it. And then we just let y'all get deep up in there, and that's where we introduced Charles.
Right.
Because Charles Nell, hey, what's up, Charles? That was his first episode with the guy scaring y'all. And what I loved about that was I was in the control room watching all the screams and all the security because, all right, they're coming through this way. Charles, come, but stop. They're turning around. Stop. They might be able to see you. All right, go now. But what do y'all remember about that episode?
That was a pretty good one. I mean, just you don't know what was going on around the next corner, and we were trying to chase it down, but it got interesting.
Yeah, because I was like, man, I'm going to pull around the corner, but I don't like stuff like it, get scared, boy. So I was on my toes the whole time.
I'll tell you this from behind the scenes. I didn't really go through the haunted house thing. This wasn't my thing. But me and my mom were in the behind the scenes thing, and the whole time she's up there praying that my dad doesn't hit somebody because he's not one of those flight kind of people. There's no fight in him. It's just fight. And so I was praying that Charles wouldn't walk out and then all of a sudden get knocked out. Because that would have happened. Yeah.
And the hot tub episode, I got free labor out of y'all.
Yeah, the only thing about the hot tub is I really couldn't do that one that day because I was down in my back. So y'all had to do all the lifting. Yeah. But I was there, but I couldn't, man. I couldn't hardly walk. I think it was rough on me because I couldn't hardly walk that day.
Mm.
Now, do y'all remember how by the time we got to the 3rd season, that basically all the sponsorship money had run out, and it was just y'all doing the GoPros on y'all's head every episode, or carrying it around? Talk to us a little bit about that.
It was different. I bought the mics and the GoPros. I think I ended up selling them to you later on, but you get a lot more close up action pictures and stuff with it, having it with you. And I got the idea when I was down there scuba diving, and I filmed the crowd down there when y'all was sitting there fighting the bees. So I got that idea from there.
Yeah, the hard part with me on that was figuring out how to turn it on.
Right.
I go through a whole other deal. Man,
And it wasn't even on.
That wasn't just hard for you. I promise it was hard on me too because I had to teach them how to use it several times over. But it was fun. The only thing about it is we didn't have a camera crew one time and we were out there squirrel hunting. And my dad was like, I'm going to play a joke on him. I'm going to shoot at the ground right beside him. And well, my foot went right in front of the barrel. And it grazed. It didn't hurt. It just grazed my foot and scared me. And so we didn't get to send that footage in for reasons. But it was fun. I guess it was more exciting for us because we're like, hey, we actually get to do something else besides be ourselves.
Yeah.
And that also felt at the same time because we didn't get to get the good shots, but we just got our view of it. Nobody got to watch us go through the same thing.
You know, it does kind of make a difference if there's an outside camera getting an outside angle as the rest of y'all. That's why I thought that season 2 worked so well because season 2 was kind of a hodgepodge. Yeah. Season 2 we had the external cameras and we still had y'all doing GoPros.
You get both perspectives.
Yeah.
You get our perspective from what we're seeing, and then you get y'all seeing us do the same thing. Which was
interesting for me on the editor side because I got to jump between all that because every single time. David would show up with SD cards. I just remember sitting there spending a full day just watching everything, making notes where's the story here? What's the story? What questions can I ask?
Make sure the footage is the same exact thing.
Y'all would go and film something, and then after y'all would film it, and after I got it, I would call y'all back, come to my back porch, and we would do the interviews. And getting anything from Kevin was like getting blood from a stone. Right there. What?
I'm going to say this. You did open up a lot. Around the second season, you started getting comfortable.
He understood the program.
He understood it, and then I believe it was just because y'all's chemistry was already built, and then you got comfortable with that, and then it just became a thing to do. Yeah. It became habit.
It's kind of hard to understand what we're talking about, but I'll say go to YouTube, find Rednecks for Hire, the number 4, and you'll see the episode. You'll see what we're talking about.
And that's the thing. The Rednecks for Hire YouTube still exists to this day, so that anybody that searches Rednecks for Hire, you can find the channel, and all of these episodes for all 3 seasons are all on that. So please go check it out because it was a whole lot of fun to make. It was a whole lot of stress. I lost more hair, but it was overall even the uncomfortable and the stressful parts. It's still. I learned so much from working with y'all and doing the shoots and editing. I have a saying that I feel like I really am the fastest editor in the West. Can't nobody top me on my speed. And the only reason I am that good is because I most days had 5 days to get the footage, edit it together, get y'all's interviews, do the sound, do the music, do the graphics and effects. I remember one time, David was hounding on me about how long it's taking me to do an episode. So he went to because one thing that y'all might not know is the guys from Duck Dynasty are close friends with Mike and everybody else here. So they were around during that time. And David went to them and said, hey, real quick, how long does it take y'all's editor to do an episode of y'all's show? And he goes, editor? We got 5, 6 people editing an episode of a show, and it usually takes about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And he's like, whoa, well, my editor does an episode in about a week. And he's like, well, whatever you're paying him, it is not enough.
Yeah. I remember one time we come to your house, and just the look on your face when me and Kevin brought that Ziploc bag for it was a little, whatever you call it.
The SD card.
Yeah, had a Ziploc bag, and the look on your face was,
oh, God. I got to watch all of these now.
We couldn't remember which one was which. We just put them in the
I know. I know there was no organization because there were times that I would be watching something from the first SD card, and then whenever I got to the 4th SD card, something on that matched up with something from the first. I'm like, oh, well, there's that. Let me make sure I write a note,
And again, the props to you for doing that, because there's no way I could have done that, or them at all, especially love you, Dad, but you definitely couldn't have done that. But yeah, we were so unorganized. I think that was the main thing that irritated me the most. Even as young as I was, I could understand a lot. I kind of grew up fast. I had to.
Yeah,
but
you in real world situations.
Yeah, but it was so unorganized, but yet somehow we made it work, and I'm grateful for it because we got to experience a lot of different things, meet a lot of cool people, and do a lot of things that we wouldn't have been able to do without the connections we had through the show and through the people we knew, like Mitch and everybody.
And we really appreciate you. I don't know if we ever told you, but we appreciate it because I know exactly, man, especially us bringing Ziploc bags and saying, here, you like, yeah.
And then your gear getting covered in mud half the time, and you're like, God, freaking out.
Well, and to be honest with you, most of the time I didn't give a shit about that. Like the gear covered in mud, I've never been a gear guy. As long as I could get it all off and it all still worked afterwards, I really didn't care. Now, y'all did almost kill me on one of the shoots.
I don't recall.
It was the first time that I ever went out to Richard Henderson's land.
Yeah.
And there was those baby coons in the
in that tree. Yeah.
Oh, when the tree blew up and that chunk of wood
blew up and that hunk went right past my face. I felt it on my ear and then it bedded into the tree.
And that got caught on camera. That got caught on camera.
Yeah, it did. And I said I was done. I'm going home.
It was like slow motion. I could see you duck and dive behind a tree, and that piece of wood was just flying. It stuck into the tree behind us.
Yeah, it did.
It was me behind there, you and Charles, and somebody else was back there, our camera guy at the time. I don't know who.
What's so ironic is as I'm running back up to my vehicle, I'm like, I ain't never coming back here again. This is insane. And now Richard's land is Boggywood.
Yeah.
It's the place that we have filmed every movie at ever since we started.
Props to him, too, because I know he put a lot of work in Bogman. I'll tell you that.
He did.
I worked with him at the time at the shop, and he was between him working on cars and then working on the costumes and props and then back to the cars.
Stuff, yeah. Hey, Drew, as somebody outside that, because Drew watched a bunch of episodes with me, do you have any questions you want to ask them as a viewer?
I mean, now that y'all have experienced doing stuff on TV, do you ever plan on doing anything else?
If he asks. If Mitch asks. There it is. There's the invite.
Okay. All right.
Within reason.
As long as he don't kill us off so soon, we'll be the head of the show.
we'll talk about the Bogman stuff in the next episode, but we got him here, so we're getting him to ask those questions. Now, a lot of people that I talk to about the Rednecks for Hire show, they ask what happened with it, why it didn't work. And I'm going to give my honest to God opinion on why it didn't work. The reason that I think that the show didn't work is that too much emphasis was put on broadcast television. If we had stopped spending the money that we were spending to do broadcast television every week and then just put half of it towards online ads, I feel like we could have made something much more consistent and lasting. Because Drew can tell you, once we started putting money into ads, like our views burst up like 70,000 in one quarter.
Yeah, that's by January of this last year. We were at the meeting with people.
Yeah, we should have went that route.
Like if because we were like spending over almost $200 a week. If we had spent just half of that on just internet ads to get people to go watch the show on YouTube, we could have monetized the YouTube. We could have gotten sponsors to throw on, because that was the growth period of YouTube, apparently, because
right. Everything was getting bigger, and I think that's what we should have started. I think we pushed too fast, too far, trying to get it out there on TV.
Yeah. Instead,
we should have been focusing on, let's start small and try to see if people even want to watch it on YouTube, and then we can go from there.
But we didn't know.
Yeah. I mean, I tried to say it, but the guy that was in charge of all the decision making was not wanting to let go of television. And David, I love you to death. You a great dude, and you've done a lot of great stuff, but I just felt like if we had just let public broadcasting go and focused on internet ads, we could still be doing the show right now. Like in between the movies.
So I guess Bogman, and then what's your ideas on that?
Bogman and See You
I'm
Madness?
talking about on them being in something else.
Well, I mean, So we did spectacularly kill them, and still to this day, like here's the thing, like y'all's death in particular, like I get like we've been reviewed by so many people so far, and for Bogman especially, and they always talk about the Hunter's death being a highlight of the movie because it's so spectacularly bloody and everything that. If we are going to bring y'all back, we have to alter y'all's appearances.
Don't make him shave. I'll say this: it don't look right. We look a lot alike when he shaves, but it don't look right.
What if it's just a mustache?
You have to take that up with the missus, my mama.
I'm just throwing this out here because we have a connected universe now. Like
Yeah.
I can bring y'all in on other movies that's not in the connected universe. But if y'all want to come back in the BCU, we're gonna have to do something to make it look a little
He's
bit
gonna have
different.
to grow.
I got a wig he can wear.
Yeah, I don't know. Who's that NBC anchor that whenever you shave, you look like him? Who was that?
I saved everything, and the
Yeah.
first comment he put,
I'll think of that guy's name. And I'll
As
tell
soon
you.
as we're done recording.
Yeah,
Probably.
Go ahead and send this out, Drew.
All right, guys, we want to thank y'all for coming out and answering our questions, and we hope to be working with y'all pretty soon.
Sounds good.
And you can check us out on Facebook, TikTok, and on the YouTube channel where we have our other podcasts and our 2 movies that are out right now, and also some extra stuff on there. So go check us out, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Doom shot, motherfucker.
Fudete novo.